Hey guys, welcome back to NFL Trading Room. Today we've got a fun one to dive into. We're going to be breaking down Garrett Nussmeier's tape against Clemson from Week 1. Garrett Nussmeier statistically had a pretty good game, but the film was very good. Really excited to dive into this one. Let's get right into it. All right, guys, so here is the first play from the Garrett Nussmeier breakdown, the first of three plays that we're going to be breaking down. So this first one, Clemson's going to they run a five-man pressure, so they're going to bring this corner off the edge right there, and then the rest of this defensive line just going to end up slanting towards their right. But then on the back end, they're going to be in some form of cover three right here with this deep safety. They're showing too high, but he's going to buzz down and kind of get that area right there. This corner playing that deep third, this safety kind of playing the midfield third, and this corner playing that deep third over there. And then these two linebackers are just going to be in hook zones over the middle of the field. But as for the offense right here, this is the first play where you really see Garrett Nussmeier's ability as a processor come to the forefront. So on this bottom portion of the screen, slot receiver is going to kind of motion out, and he's going to end up running this little double move, kind of breaks it off right there and continues. This outside receiver right here is going to run a stop route. The back is going to come across the formation and pick up this blitzer right here. And then this tight end who's in the slot right here, just going to run a crossing route, try to clear out that space. And then this receiver is going to run a really deep dig route, about 15 yards right there. And you'll see Garrett Nussmeier kind of work front side, get all the way back across the crossing route and back to the backside dig. So let's go ahead and roll the tape. So as you can see, there he goes in motion. He's looking front side, pump fakes there. Gets all the way back to that backside dig. You can really see the processing once you get to this back angle right here from the end zone cam. So he calls for the motion right there. Looks to the tight end right there. Works his way all the way back to that dig. Bam, fires a perfect shot. Great play. All right, so here we go with play number 2. Again, Clemson is going to be in a form of cover 3. That boundary corner, this deep safety. Again, they're showing too high, so they disguise their coverages quite a bit. And then this corner playing that deep third right there. This safety, he's going to buzz down and take that zone. And then these linebackers are going to have to really get athletic and kind of make up that space right there, which is where Garrett Nussmeier chooses to attack. They do bring a simulated pressure right here, so this edge right here, he's going to fake rush and then drop to get that flat right there, which you kind of want mirroring the tight end just to be schematically sound, and you don't want your edge rusher covering a slot type or anything like that in space. And then obviously you've got slants right here by the D tackles and the edge as this blitzer comes off the edge right there. But as for the offense, back does a good job picking that blitzer up right there. This tight end is on a check and release, so he's just picking up the first thing he sees and then just releasing right about there. Here on the outside, just to take as much kind of junk away from this middle of the field, even though there's a lot of zone players right there. Steve Sarkisian in a lot of his coaching clinics will call these routes just bus tickets. So you're just getting vertical as fast as you can, trying to sell that go route as hard as possible, and just clear out as much space as you can. And then Aaron Anderson, this slot receiver right here, he's going to be on, it's kind of a flattened post, about 9 yards, and he splits it right between these zones, and Garrett Nussmeier fires it perfectly in between the defenders. So let's go ahead and roll the clip. Right there, you can see the corner blitzing off the edge right there, right as Aaron Anderson is getting ready to go into his break up here. Nussmeier is loaded and ready to throw. And Sammy Brown right here, the one of the Clemson linebackers, kind of overruns this, and Nussmeier fires it right in between all three. So he uses Brown's over aggressiveness against him to get him to overrun his position right there, and then fires it in behind or right in front of Wade Woodaz, who's trying to make up ground right here. And then this safety is just too late to get inside right there. We'll watch the back angle as well from the end zone cam. See when he releases that. I mean, that is perfect. Because you don't want to lead Aaron Anderson too far into where he might take a shot from Woodaz right there. But that is just a perfectly placed ball. May not want it quite that low, but still a good job to keep it on that outside shoulder, keep him away from the hit. All right, so play number 3. This is probably the throw of the weekend right here, most people would say. Unfortunately, controversial call. Both sides points can be made. I would have personally called it a catch, but nonetheless, perfect throw, and honestly, a pretty good catch from the receiver that I thought should have stood as called. But here, Clemson is just in a pretty typical cover 1 coverage right here, which you've got your midfield safety right there, but really no hook defender. A lot of these guys are just floating in the midfield. They're not necessarily getting any depth to any zone. And then you've got man coverage across the board right here. Route combination, so you've got a little check and release again from this tight end. Same type of concept. This outside receiver is just kind of stutter and stop somewhere around that area. Slot receiver is going to get an inside stutter into a little short post. Not quite as rounded off as a slant, which is why I'd call it a short post. And then this is where Garrett Nussmeier decides to go with the football. You're going to get a stutter, outside release, gets really vertical towards that pylon, and just a beautiful throw from Garrett Nussmeier there. And we'll dive right into it. Quick break in the video. Thank you for watching this far if you have. If you wouldn't mind just going down below and dropping a like and a comment, that would just let us know that you're really enjoying the content, and it'll help us know to bring more content like this to you throughout the season. Let's get right back into the breakdown. Good outside release by that outside receiver. Stacks his defender well. And just an awesome throw. Great touch by Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, you can't throw it any better than that. Dropped it in the bucket. Unfortunate that call didn't stand for LSU. Ultimately didn't impact the score ultimately as LSU, went on to win. But man, that to me, that's the throw of the weekend right there, as far as I've seen. Yeah, you just can't do it really any better than that. Awesome throw, great catch. This is one without any play art. This is an additional clip that I just wanted to show to kind of go over Garrett Nussmeier as a processor. And this was a great tweet done by Max Toscano over on X, kind of explaining this. So you can see Clemson is in man coverage across the board right here. LSU's in a 3-by-1 set. This is 3rd and long. And really all you're looking for is some type of yardage gain. Maybe you get enough to where you can go for it on 4th down. Maybe get a little, maybe a fluke penalty by Clemson's defense. Really anything. You don't want to put the ball in, excuse me, put the ball in harm's way or anything like that. So here, Garrett Nussmeier is going to motion out the back. Obviously, that tells man coverage across the board. And so when Nussmeier brings him back in, Clemson audibles as well. And so look at all these defenders that are on the line of scrimmage now. I mean, that is 7 defenders on the line of scrimmage. That is as easy a cover zero look as it gets. And so Nussmeier is actually going to bring the tight end in. And so now you've got 8 players on the line of scrimmage. But he's bringing in the tight end just for a little bit of extra protection. And they're going to end up throwing a screen out here to his left. Doesn't pick up the first down, but gets enough breathing room to kind of make LSU have their pick of the litter on what they want to do on 4th down. I believe they ended up punting it regardless. But just the pre-snap recognition, the freedom that LSU gives Garrett Nussmeier pre-snap, I think, is a big tell for how much they trust him in their scheme. And I just thought that was really interesting to point out, and something that NFL teams are definitely going to be looking at going forward. Thank you guys so much for watching the Garrett Nussmeier breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm really excited to bring more breakdowns like this to you throughout the rest of the draft season. Thank you for watching. This has been NFL Trading Room. We'll see you guys next time.